Hi, this is Lisa Arthur and I'm going to talk to you about Maca powder. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I've known about Maca for a very, very long time, and think about it as this powder with a massive personality, just like all the superfoods have. And it's big personality, and I've got to know it really very well over the last 10 years. And I wanted to kind of condense the very, very, very basics, so that anybody who's starting can just say Maca powder. Do I need it? Do I want it? How much is it? How do I use it? What on earth is it? It's just this powder in one of these little packets. What do I need to do? Because I think you can get it wrong, because you have to really, really think about the fact that it's a superfood and it can do things to you and you can use it in a really very positive way. But I think generally what we do, what I've done for a very long time, is just chuck it in a smoothie, chuck it down my neck and go, oh, goody, I've got some superfoods in me. And the reality, actually, until I really started researching it, is that you can take it at a certain time to do certain things. And I think that if we just have those little hints and tips, we'll be totally ready to use it in a really, really respectful way, and understand what the vibration of that superfood is. So I've just got my checklist here to make sure that I go through every single thing and I stay nice and focused, otherwise I might get a bit waffly. So, Maca powder, first of all, how much is it? Is it going to cost me a fortune? Because sometimes you think, well, that would be really nice, but it costs a lot of money. So it comes in, I just thought the smallest one, the easiest one. I just went to the health food store. You can get 100 things online, as you probably know by now. Look, these packs here, this happens to be salt, but these packs here, really, really easy to open, really easy to store. I don't like them, so I put everything in a jar, because I can open it easily and have a little spoon in there. These are too fiddly, I'm too impatient. But about 200 grams, about a jar full, something like that, is about £8. About £8. So it's not going to break the bank. So what does it smell and taste like? Is it one of these things like I've done and you've done, I'm sure, if you're watching this video? You get it home and you think, oh yeah, that's lovely because it's a superfood, and you don't, I don't like, and it goes to the back of the cupboard and you never use it. And that's a real shame. So let me do the smell test. It's not like super pleasant. It's kind of pungent. And if you were testing wine, you'd say it has butterscotchy, caramelly hints, but it's actually there's something very earthy about it. And the more you smell it, and the more you take it on, you can really understand what it is, because it's actually like a turnip. It's a root. It grows underground. So this is powdered root. So it is a food. It's not just a kind of little powder that you put in. It's a food. And how do you take it, and how much do you take of it? Depends who you read. If you're reading David Wolf's Sun Food Diet book, he's saying put 2 heap spoons in a smoothie. Woo! If I did that, I don't know what would happen to me. I'm not brave enough. I tried one, but that was enough. I would say 1/4 of a teaspoon, really, because you've got to get used to the taste and you've got to notice what happens to your body when you take it. So I would really recommend that you just start with one superfood. Just spend £8, one superfood, coconut water or coconut milk or whatever you want to put with it. In your smoothie thing, and please don't spend a load of money and go mad, because this is quite potent stuff, so it grows really high up in the mountains in Peru. It's like illegal Peruvian marching powder, if you get my drift. But it was given to soldiers before they went marching, and they had to give them a certain amount, because when they stopped marching they wanted to have sex with everybody. So it's a really potent superfoods. So you really need to start off with 1/4 of a teaspoon. I'll come on to the details in a minute. 1/4 of a teaspoon of this powdered turnip-like vegetable. It's a starch, so you've got to be also, maybe when you, this is Maca 101, right? But when you do Maca 2, Maca 3 and Maca 4, when you really go down the rabbit hole of my other videos, you'll find out starch and proteins maybe not mixed so good. Okay, so how do you take it? So I would, again, just try one superfood in one drink. So if you're going to start with this one, take 1/4 teaspoon in a regular glass of coconut water, spin it round. You don't have any equipment, just spin it round, drink it, notice what happens. Don't take it at night. Take it in the morning, because it's an energizer. What else do I need to tell you about it? All right. Why should I take it? Why should I take it? Well, it's a superfood. You've got to take it. It's... First thing everybody says is, well, if I take this, what's it good for? What's it good for? So what you've got to do is watch my adaptogens video, or you can read it if you can't be bothered to listen to me rant on. And everything that you know about vitamins, minerals, supplements, throw out the window, because superfoods and a lot of this kind of raw food world, or whatever you want to call it, introduce powders and foods that are called adaptogens. And an adaptogen, very succinctly, is something that looks at the whole spectrum of your body. It just doesn't say, you know, I'm taking an aspirin and that will do my headache because it attaches there on my frontal lobe. It's a powder or a superfood that will have a whole range of benefits. So let's talk about the ones we can kind of go. So why should I take it? Let me just make sure I've got all of these here. So the reason why everybody goes, oh, Maca's XXX, is because that it increases the oxygen, your body's ability to take oxygen, which in turn increases your libido, which in turn, not in turn, but increasing oxygen means that you want to move about. And so if you want to go and do some exercise, or you're having a really busy day and you're going to be running around all over the place, take a 1/4 teaspoon in the morning. And it balances your hormone levels, it increases your memory capacity, your oxygen, that's it. You know, so oxygen in the body does 58 different things. Regulates your mood, and it's really good for stamina and strength. But it also, as I said, has this personality. I think it has quite a male personality. It's quite driven, you know, people marched on it, as opposed to something like Suma, S-U-M-A, which has a very feminine quality. And, well, anyway, I won't go into it. It's not necessarily, I'm just trying to show off. So with Maca, for me personally, I only take Maca when I've got a really busy day, when I'm not sitting on my bum at my desk. If I sit on my bum at my desk and I think, yes, well, I'll have some Maca because it's a superfood, I'll chuck it in my smoothie and it increases my mental capacity, then I'm sitting here and I feel quite speedy, quite agitated, because it's kind of doing this, because it's giving oxygen and I'm still sitting on my bum. So my mental capacity for me isn't improved. That's something else. You want to watch the blue-green algae video for mental capacity, brain on. This is, I think, for the more male physical movement. I know it sounds, you know, everybody should take it. No, certain people should take it at certain times in certain doses and get friendly with its personality. And then, of course, if you're not having every single superfood in your smoothie every single day, it is not going to cost you £8 for this drink that tastes a bit rank, frankly. Put 2 tablespoons of Maca in and then you whiz it up for ages. It's not going to taste very nice. The other thing is that Maca doesn't whiz up very well. It becomes a little bit bitter. So what you have to do is make your smoothie and stir the Maca in, or just give the Maca a quick whiz, or you just stir the Maca into cocoa water. It doesn't like being blitzed. It's starchy, it's a root. It just goes even more strong and it goes a bit bitter. So don't just chuck it all in. Don't just chuck it all in. How long should you take it for? Well, if you need the support for your physical stamina, then take a little bit every day. But I would certainly suggest that you take a little bit, just notice what happens. And again, there's another video about journaling and noticing. Take a look at that. 1/4 teaspoon a day, just for a week. And just see what happens. Now, if you know that you've got a really busy week in front of the computer, don't take it on that day. Maybe if you've got a really busy weekend day, or if you're on your feet all day, depending on what your job is, and you've got to go out, and if you're a teacher or something, I would definitely take Maca. It would be a totally brilliant thing to take, because you're on your feet all day and you've got to tackle all these kids, and that would be a great thing to take. But if your personality doesn't suit the Maca powder, or if what you're doing doesn't quite fit it, you might not feel the benefits. I certainly, with Maca powder, have to take it from time to time. Now, as an adaptogen, yes, it does give you what you need. So if you need more of this or less of this, it balances everything out. But I still think there's a layer of us understanding it, which we really haven't got yet. So just take it easy. Don't worry too much about all of the other, you can go right down the rabbit hole, different coloured macas, all that kind of stuff. Just experiment with it and listen to your body. Listen to your body, because your body will tell you whether it likes it or not. It really will. And it'll go through stages as well. You'll like it for a while, then you won't like it for a while. What else have I got on here? Oh yeah, it does improve your libido because it increases the oxygen. And I remember when I was messing about with Maca, back in the day, about 10 years ago, we only really had chia seeds, cacao nibs, goji berries, maca powder, acerola powder, real basic stuff that you had to get. It's not in the shops, and there really wasn't very much online at all. And I remember taking Maca, a couple of tablespoons, because that's what David Wolf said. And I went to work. I was working in office at the time. I was a PA to the managing director, and we're in a big meeting. And I absolutely tell you the truth, I was high as a kite on this Maca. And I walked into the meeting. I was all a bit cocky. And as someone walked out, a visitor, I battered him on the bum and went, "Woo, see you later." Totes inappropriate, of course, but that was the Maca just getting me on this kind of really cool level. So experiment with it. Just buy a little packet, take a quarter of a teaspoon and go up to maybe a tablespoon, but don't think you're going to have a recipe and it's the only way to follow it and all this kind of stuff. It's not. You are totally in control of what you take. Don't read somebody else's stuff and say, well, that's gospel, because it's not. Your body will know and your body will respond. What else do I need to tell you about Maca? It doesn't store that great, actually, so I would only buy little bits if you're experimenting with it. Don't go and buy a whole kilo bag. It tends to go quite dry and hard, and then it loses its potency, so it doesn't stay very long in the cupboard. I think that's about it. So if you have any questions, you can go on my website and you can send me a message. You can get Maca online if you want to, but that's all you really need to know about how to use it. And I hope that you then understand a little bit more. So bye for now.